A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians, CCP 2025. We're right now getting ready to warmly welcome the dignitaries this evening right outside the hall and bring them along to the main hall with a procession. And that's the sound of the cultural procession you're hearing right now. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians, CCP 2025. And as we warmly welcome the chief guest, special guests, guests of honor, and the dignitaries this evening, to commence the ceremony, we shall all remain standing for the national anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Upper Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Siddharini, Surani Ati Sobhamana Lamba. ජීවන දෙමිනි ලිඛිත අප පුබුදු කරන් මාතා ඥාන පීඩ මඩ නොමින රැගෙන යනු මැන ජයමු විතරා
Ladies and gentlemen, being Sri Lankans, we never forget our culture. We always start a ceremony by lighting the oil lamp. And this evening, to light the oil lamp, I would now like to cordially invite Vidya Jyothi, Professor Prasad Katulanda, President of the Ceylon College of Physicians, who will also accompany Professor Savitri Gunasekara, Emeritus Professor of Law, University of Colombo, who is our chief guest this evening. And also our special guest, Dr. Anil Singha, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Guest of Honor and President of the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, Professor Andrew Elder, Guest of Honor and President of the Royal College of Physicians, London, Professor Mumtaz Patel, Guest of Honor and President of the European Federation of Internal Medicine, Professor George Dalakos, Guest of Honor and President of Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, Professor Javed Akram, Professor Chamila Metananda, orator of this evening, Board of Trustees representative in the Council, Dr. Anula Vijay Surendra, Dr. Anula Vijay Sundara, the senior most past president representing the past president of the college, Dr. Lakshman Ram Singha, President-elect Professor Namal Vijay Singha, the Honorary Treasurer, Dr. Asanka Ratnayakar, and the Honorary Joint Secretaries, Dr. Lilanti Subasingha and Dr. Praveen Veeratunga, to light the oil lamp. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As you may now take your seats, I cordially invite the dignitaries to take your seat at the head table on stage. I cordially invite Vidya Jyothi Professor Prasad Katulanda, President of the Ceylon College of Physicians 2025, to accompany the dignitaries to the head table. Our chief guest this evening, Professor Savitri Gunasekara, Emeritus Professor of Law, University of Colombo. Special guest, Dr. Anil Singha, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Sri Lanka. Our guest of honor this evening, Professor Andrew Elder, President of Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh. Professor Mumtaz Patel, President, Royal College of Physicians, London. Professor George Dalakos, President, European Federation of Internal Medicine. Professor Javed Akram, President, Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. Orator of the evening, Professor Chamila Metananda, and the Honorary Joint Secretaries, Dr. Lilanti Subasingha and Dr. Praveen Veeratunga. Let's welcome the dignitaries with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're set to begin the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Ayubovan and a very good evening. On behalf of the Ceylon College of Physicians, it is my great pleasure to warmly welcome each and every one of you to the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians CCP 2025. Let's have a good round of applause at the start itself, ladies and gentlemen. Now this is the annual flagship event in the college calendar, a celebration of knowledge, collaboration, and progress. Established in the year 1967, the Ceylon College of Physicians has remained steadfast in its purpose, that is, to advance medical knowledge, promote postgraduate education, and ensure the highest standards of patient care across the nation. This year, the theme is Physician for the Future, which reflects CCP's commitment to embracing innovation and staying ahead of the curve, whether through harnessing the power of artificial intelligence in medicine or exploring new frontiers across every arm of internal medicine. Now, as we are gathered here today for the inauguration ceremony of CCP 2025, the journey towards today has already been very rich, with 6 pre-congresses paving the way for what promises to be 3 inspiring days of plenaries, symposia, networking, and academic exchange. And ladies and gentlemen, the CCP 2025 is further strengthened by the collaboration of esteemed international partners. The Royal College of Physicians London, the Royal College of Physicians Edinburgh, the Royal Australasian College of Physicians, the European Federation of Internal Medicine, the Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. And alongside them, ladies and gentlemen, CCP is proud to have the support of its local collaborators as well. They call the sister colleges and associations in medicine. Sri Lanka College of Internal Medicine, Sri Lanka Association of Geriatric Medicine, Sri Lanka College of Cardiologists, Sri Lanka College of Rheumatology and Rehabilitation, Sri Lanka Society of Nephrology, Sri Lanka College of Endocrinologists, Sri Lanka College of Pulmonologists, Sri Lanka Society of Gastroenterology, Association of Sri Lankan Neurologists, Ceylon College of Critical Care Specialists. Can we have a good round of applause to the collaboration and the partnerships, ladies and gentlemen? Now, together, under the banner of CCP 2025, the college ushers in 3 remarkable days that is full of knowledge, sharing, collaboration, and progress. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as we kickstart the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians, I now cordially invite the President of the Ceylon College of Physicians 2025, Vidya Jyoti, Professor Prasad Katalandar, to warmly welcome all of you and also to deliver the President's address. With a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Ayubovan, Vanakkam, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. The chief guest today, Emeritus Professor Savitri Gunasekara, the guests of honor, Professor Mumtaz Patel, President, Royal College of Physicians, London, Professor Jennifer Martin, President, Royal Australasian College of Physicians, Professor Andrew Elder, President, Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh, Professor George Dalikos, President, European Federation of Internal Medicine, Professor Jawad Akram, President, Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, Our special guest, Dr. Anil Jasinger, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Professor Chamila Mettananda, the orator tonight, trustees, past presidents, fellows, council members, and members of the Ceylon College of Physicians, presidents and officials of our sister colleges and associations, additional secretaries, the DGHS, the deputy directors of health services, and the other officials of the Ministry of Health, President Sri Lanka Medical Council, Vice Chancellors, Directors of institutions, and members of the academia, resource persons both from overseas and Sri Lanka, as well as delegates from overseas and Sri Lanka, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely humbled and delighted to welcome each one of you to the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians, the CCP 2025. In keeping with our broader theme, the physician for the future for Sri Lanka and for the global village, our academic committee has very carefully, with the help of the council, crafted a comprehensive and a vibrant academic program spreading over 3 days, which you will be able to experience and enjoy. We have targeted the juniors, the trainees, the young physicians, the seniors, trainers, researchers, academics, and everyone. During the last 3 days, we successfully concluded 6 pre-congress workshops on simulation, sepsis, research methodology, leadership and communication, artificial intelligence, and a program for the nursing professionals. Our pre-congress workshops, both for doctors and other allied health professionals, were well attended and almost oversubscribed. We included almost all specialties in medicine in CCP 2025 in collaboration with our sister colleges, so that we have covered entire spectrum of medical specialties. Not only that, in keeping again with our theme of molding our young physicians for the future, we have included symposia on medical technology, including AI, medical education, and even new things like pharmacogenomics, exposing our physician to the cutting edge new knowledge. We have got 6 plenaries and 3 prestigious orations. The CCP oration will be delivered tonight. In addition, this year, we have introduced what are called networking symposia or meetings. The broader theme is the way forward in that specialty in Sri Lanka. We have included way forward networking meetings in endocrinology, geriatrics, as well as pulmonology, where both our own experts and overseas experts and expatriates discuss and try to find out solutions to burning problems in these respective specialties. I'm not going to go into detail because our chairperson of the academic program will elaborate this in more detail. During the last 9 months, I myself, along with my council, had been taking forward the good work our predecessors had been doing. In addition, we have introduced several new initiatives under our theme, The Physician for the Future. We conducted the monthly programs of the college lectures, young physician forums, and in addition, we have had several specialty days in collaboration with our sister colleges or associations. Our peripheral programs in Anuradhapura, Navalapitiya, and Hambantota were great successes. In addition to the academic programs in these peripheries, we have had nurses programs to educate and empower our nursing staff, as well as introduced a new concept of educating the general public, the public health forum, which was also very well taken up by the general public. We continued our other programs like Periphery to the Fore program, highlighting the work and challenges our physicians face when they work in the peripheries. The Beyond Medicine lecture series was also very well received. The new initiatives we proposed under this, our theme, were largely accomplished. We were able to launch a sustained program in educating and empowering our physicians on artificial intelligence with several workshops and symposia, as well as coming up with a white paper, a consensus document on artificial intelligence in medicine in Sri Lanka, which we will be launching today. We were also working hard on establishing an innovative CPD portal, the MyCCP CPD, which will be launched shortly. And also we have continued to conduct a lot of education and preparatory courses for exams such as MD Part 1, and also the trainees as well as MD Part 2, and also a new program of orientation for new specialty senior registrars in various specialties. We have strengthened the bonds and collaborative efforts with all our specialty colleges in medicine, which will be aptly highlighted in the symposia next 3 days. I'm very thankful to all the presidents and their councils who very voluntarily and happily join hands with the Ceylon College of Physicians in these endeavors. And I would fail in my duty if I don't mention the Sri Lanka College of Internal Medicine, the College of Cardiologists, College of Rheumatology and Rehabilitation, the Society of Nephrology, College of Endocrinologists, College of Pulmonologists, Society of Gastroenterology, Association of Neurologists, Association of Geriatric Medicine, Ceylon College of Critical Care Specialists, and the Sri Lanka College of Medical Educationists. We had to expand the sessions to 3 days to accommodate all these specialties. And for the CCP 2025, we moved to a new venue to house a larger conference. I'm also delighted that we have maintained our traditional bonds with Royal College of Physicians, London, and Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh. And also we have renewed our previous links and bonds that we had. Unfortunately, Professor Jennifer Martin, although she is here, she's unwell, is unable to attend this ceremony, but she'll be here in the next 3 days. And also, we made the new collaboration with very powerful another body, the European Federation of Internal Medicine, where the CCP became honorary member. And also we are continuing our partnership with the Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. A conference of this nature is aimed at gaining new knowledge, sharing knowledge, making new friendships, and renewing our old friendships and bonds. In this regard, I see a large number of overseas faculty, overseas delegates, including our own expatriates, are participating registered in the CCP sessions. Our resource persons and delegates span from North America to New Zealand, including many countries of Asia, South Asia. I would like to wish all the participants a very productive and a memorable conference during the next 3 days. And for those who have visited from overseas, a memorable and a pleasant stay in Sri Lanka. Finally, I know that we are going to have a formal vote of thanks, but our secretaries would not thank themselves. I would like to thank Lilanti and Praveen for their very hard work, many sleepless nights planning and executing such a wonderful and a comprehensive program, communicating with over 200 resource persons, chairs, panelists across the globe. In addition, I would fail in my duty if I don't thank Asanka, who had no hesitation in helping me on taking a burden of a conference with a quite big budget of this magnitude. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of the proceedings in the evening and the other 3 days to follow the academic feasting in this lovely cinnamon city, the city of dreams. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Professor Prasad Kattananda. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a good round of applause one more time to the President of CCP 2025. And now we're ready to dive into the line of speeches. And first up, we have the address by the guest of honor, Professor Mumtaz Patel. And now I cordially invite the President of CCP back to the podium to cordially introduce and invite our very first distinguished guest of honor this evening.
Professor Mumtaz Patel is the President of the Royal College of Physicians, London. Elected in 2025, she is the first woman of South Asian heritage to lead the RCP in its 500-year history. She is the Senior Censor and Vice President for Education and Training at the RCP London, and she had been the past Global Vice President at the Royal College of Physicians, London. She's a consultant nephrologist at the Manchester University Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust and honorary clinical professor at the University of Liverpool. As the Vice President, Education and Training, she led development of new education strategy during her tenure as Global Vice President and expanded international engagement and launched RCP's Global Women's Leaders Program. She previously served as Postgraduate Associate Dean for NHS England North West and is also the Director for Conduct and Progress at the University of Liverpool School of Medicine. She had an illustrious medical career at the University of Manchester, qualifying in 1996 and completing her PhD in genetics of lupus nephritis in 2006. She also holds a master's degree in medical education and has developed a national reputation in postgraduate education, assessment, and training. Professor Mumtaz Patel is a great friend of Ceylon College of Physicians, where during the last few years we have very cordial and close collaboration and friendship. Professor Mumtaz Patel.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for the very warm welcome, such humbling words. I'm very grateful. I know it's a very long program today, so I'm not going to keep you for very long, but I wanted to say a huge thank you to the Ceylon College of Physicians for inviting us, for being such wonderful partners for the Royal College of Physicians over many years now. Certainly, my history and journey with CCP started in 2020 during the COVID years when I was appointed as Global Vice President. And I had the great pleasure of working with our international advisors who are here in the room. And it was a great joy to start rebuilding our relationship and working together on a number of different themes. They contributed towards our global strategy, which we launched in 2021. And then over the years, we've worked together in a lot of education and training elements, conferences, CME, and then the Medical Training Initiative Program, which has been very strong in Sri Lanka. And our partnership with the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, which was my first visit here in Sri Lanka in 2018 when I came as an external examiner. And it was such a lovely experience that I've come many times thereafter. And it's my pleasure to build on our relationship over the last few years. The theme of this conference is supporting physicians for the future. And this morning we were doing the leadership workshop, which we've supported over the last 4 years. And we've been very blessed with our international advisors and Professor Arosha and others who have been very committed to instilling leadership skills early in our physician, the population and our next generation of physicians, which is so important. And it was great to see a number of our early career grade doctors who participated in the workshop and the faculty which has developed over the last 4 years. So such proud sort of moment for us building on this, and over years I'm sure we can build on it further. Over the years with the CCP, we've been blessed to do a number of different activities which we're building on, and this year's conference is very much something which is close to our hearts. Supporting the next generation of physicians, those who will be probably looking after us in years to come, is something that we're very much invested in and supporting. And certainly tomorrow, one of the opening plenaries, I've been asked to present on that, which will present the opportunities that are there to support our next generation of physicians. So for me today, it's a very great privilege to be here. I'm very honored to be guests of honor together with all these esteemed guests here today. And I wish you very well for the conference, and I'm sure it'll be a huge success. A huge thank you to all the Secretariat and the wider teams, without of which the conference would not be a success and we wouldn't be here today. So a huge thank you to all the team who are here today, and I'm sure I wish you well for the conference over the next 3 years. Certainly, I'm very much looking forward to the next 3 days, and I'm sure you all will have a great time. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today, and a warm welcome, and wishing you all the success for the coming days and weeks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. I request you to remain in front of the stage as we have a small token of appreciation to be presented. And to present the token of appreciation, I cordially invite the President of CCP, Professor Prasad Katulanda. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a sounding round of applause to Professor Mumtaz Patel, President, Royal College of Physicians, London, for that address. And this is CCP's way of saying thank you with a token of appreciation. Let's give one more round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Professor Mumtaz Patel. Thank you, dignitaries. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to hear from our next guest of honor this evening, Professor Andrew Elder, President of Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh. And now, to introduce and invite him to speak, I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda.
It's again great pleasure to introduce Professor Andrew Elder, one of the again great friends of Sri Lanka. He's the President of the Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh, and is the first geriatrician to hold this position. He was educated in the Edinburgh Medical School and had been an NHS consultant in medicine for older people since 1993. He's also an honorary professor at Edinburgh Medical School since 2015. He's recognized as an expert in teaching and assessment of clinical skills, and Professor Elder has taught, assessed, or lectured on bedside clinical skills in over 20 countries. He had been a visiting professor at several US institutions, including Stanford University, California, where he is currently a present fellow and a scholar, the University of Alabama at Birmingham, Washington University of St. Louis, and in 2022, he became the inaugural visiting professor of bedside medicine at Johns Hopkins, Baltimore. He was awarded Mastership of the American College of Physicians, becoming the first doctor practicing in Scotland and the second in the UK to attain this honor since its inception in 1923. Professor Elder believes that compassion, communication, and core clinical skills remain fundamental to high-quality care and therefore have prime importance in contemporary medical education. He has contributed immensely to the field of geriatric medicine in Sri Lanka and is a true friend of CCP, Professor Andrew Elder.
Aibuwan, and there, I'm afraid, my ability to speak your language ends. The rest of this will have to be in English, and for that, I apologize. Honourable Chief Guest, Professor Gunasakara, Honourable Special Guest and Health Secretary, Dr. Jai Singh, Honourable President of the CCP, Professor Katulanda, fellow guests of honour, esteemed councillors and fellows of the Ceylon College of Physicians, distinguished members of the medical profession, honoured guests, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for the invitation to be here and the very generous introduction, and indeed just for the opportunity to speak with you here this evening. I have three things, essentially, that I want to say in the short time that I have. Firstly, may I congratulate everyone who will become a fellow of this college this evening, and indeed some of you are receiving prizes. Such awards are milestones in our lives. They're not ends, but they're beginnings, whatever stage of your career you're at. And days like this are to be enjoyed with family and friends, and I hope that is the case for all of you here. And I am, in fact, amongst you to be honoured with a fellowship of this college too today. And in fact, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to come. And I simply wanted to thank the Ceylon College of Physicians for bestowing that honour on me. I've spoken before with you at this meeting about my long personal connection to Sri Lanka. As many of you know, I came here first on honeymoon in 1983. I wasn't president of the college then, although sometimes it feels like I have been president of the college for that long. But I've got a long personal connection with the country, and our college, of course, has had an even longer connection with the Ceylon College of Physicians. So receiving an honorary fellowship like this from a college that I respect and admire so much in a country where I have so many friends and that I've come to love is really very special to me. So I thank you for that honour. Secondly, may I just offer my congratulations to everyone who's involved in organising this conference, the 58th anniversary conference. I know that organising conferences like this take a lot of time across the whole college and beyond. So well done to everybody involved. I wish it all success, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. I was delighted when I heard that the theme of the conference was the doctor of the future, or the physician of the future. And I say that in the knowledge that I'm pretty close to becoming a doctor of the past. But as many of you know, I believe quite firmly that questioning the role of the doctor at this particular time in medical history, with so much technology around and so many other talented healthcare professionals from other disciplines being trained, that we really have to think about the role of the doctor in the future. So I'd ask you all to consider your own answers to this question, which I think is one of the questions of our time, and that is, what is a doctor? And if you think about that, it will take your mind to all sorts of interesting places. And for example, if we can't answer that question, what is a doctor? How do we know how to train them for the future? But in looking forward, as we're going to do in this meeting, I'd always urge everybody to look back as well, for there is much that the traditional doctor, the doctor of the past, has done that is still of value now. For no matter how much technology we have, no matter what AI actually becomes, our human qualities will remain vital in the care of human patients. As the old proverb says, those who live in the past are blind in one eye, but those who forget the past are blind in both. Thirdly, and finally, I've been blessed with a gift in my professional career, and that's the gift of travel. I've traveled, Europe, the Americas, Southeast Asia, Middle East, South Asia, including, as you know, many visits here. And in all those travels, I meet people, and it's wonderful here tonight to meet so many of you again who are based in Sri Lanka, but also friends and colleagues from all over the world. Not just Mumtaz from close at home in the UK, but George, who I know through Ethan from Greece, and Javed from Pakistan, who we have met and worked together in Pakistan. I've also met today colleagues from Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, who I didn't know were going to be here. And we also have, as you've heard, representatives from Australia. And I think the presence of all these different people here is a sign now of the global influence of the Ceylon College of Physicians. The final thing I wanted to say about travels was that I've learned from my travels that although our culture, our societies, and our healthcare systems may differ in some ways, the fundamentals of patient care are shared wherever you go in the world. We all work to care for people as best as we can with whatever resources we have. We all work to teach and train those who follow us as best we can so that they can deliver even better care than we have. And we all work to minimize inequalities in access to care, to cater for the poor as well as those more fortunate, to support those living in rural environments as much as we support those living in cities, to ensure that women and men can access the care they need equally, and that both the young and the old are also treated equally. But in that, we share the same challenge all around the world, and that is of demand for care outstripping the supply. No country that I travel to has enough doctors, nor enough money to fund everything we may wish to do for everybody all of the time, particularly in our ever more technological practice of medicine. Part of our job as doctors, therefore, is to use our resources wisely and to ensure that our governments and our politicians are aware of our challenges so that they can play their part in aiming for the best health for all. Finally, then, in today's interconnected world, the importance of international collaboration of the type that you see here in this meeting can't be overstated. Diseases don't recognize borders, and neither should our efforts to combat them. Given that interconnection, my presence here today, along with other colleagues representing our own colleges and medicine from around the world, represents a bridge between our nations and our shared commitment to advancing medical science for the betterment of our peoples. The CCP's dedication to excellence and its vision for the future is exemplary, and it's my sincere hope that all of us in partnership can continue to share knowledge, ideas, and innovations in our clinical practice and in our teaching and training so that we can all make a meaningful difference to the lives of those people, our patients, that we serve. So once again, thank you for this invitation, thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for the honor of my own award today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. I request you to remain in front to accept a token of appreciation and to present it. I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a good round of applause to Professor Andrew Elder, President of the Royal College of Physicians, Edinburgh, for your address and especially for your presence this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, Professor Andrew Elder. With that, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, it's now time to hear a few words from our guest of honor, Professor George Dallacos. And now, to introduce and invite him, I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda.
Before I introduce Professor Dallacos, let me wish Professor Jennifer Martin, the President of RSCP, quick recovery. She is a bit sick, and so she will be back soon with us. Professor George Derricos, MD, PhD, Fellow FIM, is currently the FIM President and the Head Department of Medicine, Larissa University Hospital, Greece. He graduated from Athens Medical School and earned internal medicine IM specialty, his PhD in 1995. He is a board member of Helsinki Society IM, chair of clinical practice guidelines, and the vice president of the Internal Medicine Society of Greece, and vice president and president of many other societies. He is member of many scientific committees acknowledged for exceptional medical activity in internal medicine, and has acted as academic editor, reviewer, or in editorial board member in numerous journals, particularly in internal medicine. He is also expert in research, and his key scientific areas of interest are clinical immunology, autoimmune hepatitis, primary biliary cirrhosis, hepatitis zoonosis, and HLH. Professor Derricos has published more than 390 manuscripts, and he has more than 28,000 citations with an H index of 79. And he is recognized in the global ranking of the top 20% scientists by the Stanford University database. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure in inviting Professor George Derricos, President of the European Federation of Internal Medicine, to address you.
Thank you, Prasad, for the kind introduction. Dear distinguished colleagues, esteemed members of the CCP, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege to join you today at the opening ceremony of Ceylon College of Physicians Annual Academic Sessions 2025. On behalf of the European Federation of Internal Medicine, I bring you warm greetings from Europe and from our dynamic community of internists across the continent. This is my first time in Colombo, of course, and my first visit to Sri Lanka, and I'm truly delighted to take part in this Congress while discovering your beautiful country. I have the honor of serving as the current president of FIM, which was founded back in 1996 with a clear and vital mission to promote internal medicine as the cornerstone in delivering high-quality, integrated patient care, especially in a world increasingly shaped by medical subspecialization. We are proud to be a federation of 48 national societies across 45 countries in Europe and worldwide, representing more than 65,000 internal medicine specialists. Besides many activities, FIM is offering one of our greatest priorities is supporting the young internists through active young internist section dedicating training opportunities, European schools of internal medicine, exchange programs, clinical research program, and networking activities. FIM offers young internists the chance to expand their skills, share their ideas, and take an active role in the development of internal medicine. The importance of broad collaboration in the science and practice of medicine is very important, and the partnership with the Ceylon College of Physicians is vital for us. This intercontinental collaboration allows us to share expertise, exchange perspectives, and work together on projects that benefit both our patients and physicians. By connecting our communities, we will strengthen the global voice of internal medicine and ensure our profession evolves to meet diverse needs. We are proud to present the members of EFIM with the opportunity to join the EFIM Fellowship Program, recognizing excellence and commitment to internal medicine. To enjoy free access to the EFIM Academy, our comprehensive online educational program. Members also benefit from reduced registration fees at our European Congress of Internal Medicine, as well as regular updates on the latest developments, research, and trends in our field through webinars, keeping you connected and informed. Looking ahead, I am delighted to invite you to join us in the 24th European Congress of Internal Medicine, ESIM 2026, which will take place in Vienna from 25 to 28 of March next year. It will be a unique opportunity to meet colleagues from around the world, to learn from each other, to present your work, and to shape the future of our specialty together. I wish you all an inspiring and successful meeting during the CCP annual academic session. Enjoy the meeting, gain valuable knowledge, connect with peers, and expand your professional network. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor George Dalakos. I request you to remain in front to accept a token of appreciation, and to present it, I cordially invite the President of CCP, Professor Prasad Katolanda. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a sounding round of applause to our guest of honor, Professor George Dalakos, President of the European Federation of Internal Medicine. Thank you very much, Professor, for your presence and for your address this evening. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure we can do better. Thank you very much. Moving on, it's now time to hear a few words from our distinguished guest of honor, Professor Javed Akram, President of the Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. And now, to officially introduce and invite him, I invite the President, Professor Prasad Katolanda.
Professor Javed Akram is a globally acclaimed physician, researcher, academic leader whose contribution to medicine span clinical care, research, education, and policy. I can simply say he's a real giant in internal medicine in Pakistan. With an unparalleled impact factor of 890, the highest ever for a Pakistani doctor, his distinguished career includes serving as Minister of Health, Punjab, Minister for Social Welfare, Vice Chancellor of both Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Medical University and the University of Health Sciences, Lahore. He has served as principal of several other medical colleges and institutions. He received the Prime Minister's Gold Medal, Tamma-i-Imtiaz, and multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards for clinical trials, gene cloning, stem cell regeneration, and pharmaceutical biotechnology. A fellow of several prestigious international colleges, international advisor to Royal College of Physicians, London, Professor Akram remained founding president of Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, and he is now chairman of the organization. He is also founding president of Society of Novel and Rare Diseases. He continuously be a visionary medical educationist, researcher, health administrator, and advocate, and working for accessible healthcare in Pakistan and beyond. Professor Akram has visited many times to Sri Lanka and again a very close friend of Ceylon College of Physicians. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Professor Jawad Akram to address you. Professor Akram.
Colleagues and friends from all over the globe, good evening. Thank you, Prasad, for that very generous introduction. Indeed, it's a great pleasure for me and my colleagues from Pakistan to be part of what I think is a very good tradition that has been laid down by leadership of Ceylon College of Physicians. I always say that institutes get all the strength by good traditions, and if those traditions are strengthened, then automatically the institute gets all the strength. And when institutes are strengthened, the country benefits. Unfortunately, this is not very common, but I have been part of many of these conferences of Ceylon College of Physicians with Dr. Uppal and many presidents before. But each and every of their meeting is better than the last one. And they keep on improving. And today's meeting, I think, already is a big, big, huge success for which the entire leadership and the president and his team deserves a big applause. Pakistan and Sri Lanka have a lot in common. We are all weather friends, whether it is dengue, earthquake, or floods. We are always trying to help each other, especially for the needy. And Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, I was just realizing, looking at organizations which are 58 years old, or even Royal College of Physicians, my alma mater, hundreds and hundreds of years old, Royal College of Edinburgh, Andrew is there. We are the toddler in this. We are only 6 years old. But we have very, very high objectives. Me and my colleagues formed this organization with one important initiative in mind, that internal medicine all over the world, and much more so in a primitive country like Pakistan, was losing its glory. And it was extremely important for us, the internists, to bring that glory back and attract the young brains back into internal medicine. With this onslaught of specialties and supra-specialties, there was brain drain that we were witnessing from internal medicine to these specialties. And as a result, a patient who usually has multi-system involvement like diabetics, hypertensives, and so on, they were, really going from post to pillar for their treatment. And also, internal medicine is the mother and I'll say father specialty, the parent specialty of all medicine, because clinical methods and practical bedside medicine is taught always by internists. For example, in Pakistan, in one hospital, we will have one specialty unit, whether cardiology, nephrology, or neurology, or whatever, but we'll have 4 to 5 units of internal medicine, because the undergraduates will spend much more time with internal medicine. So it was imperative that we attract the talent to internal medicine and create legendary teachers in this sense. So partly we have been successful, and we are very much encouraged to see so many of the colleagues from all over the world thinking alike and also guiding us. And we always are much, much wiser attending these meetings, especially Ceylon College of Physicians, than any other thing. This conference has been titled as Physicians for the Future. obviously, Andrew talked about, Mumtaz talked about that they will be better equipped with technology, artificial intelligence. I totally agree with that. They'll have to, because newer and newer diseases are being witnessed in the world, like COVID-19. I never was taught COVID-19, and I had never read about COVID-19, but I was supposed to treat those patients. So new chapters were added. So obviously the physicians of the future will be well equipped with these emerging diseases and so on. And I always say, in my view, if 10 million people had to die in few months or weeks, it will not be from a nuclear arsenal. It is bound to be from a microorganism, whatever. So these physicians will have the latest knowledge, latest technology, AI and everything else. But personally, I think it's much more important for physicians of the future for being much more empathetic than physicians of the past or physicians of the present. They need to be much more passionate and caring and loving for their patients. They need to be much more patient-centric than what our generation have been. Once that happens, world will be a much, much better place for all of us patients. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Javed Akram. I request you to remain in front to accept a token of appreciation, and I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda, to give away the token of appreciation. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together, thanking Professor Javed Akram, President of the Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. Thank you very much for your time and your address this evening. Let's give another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, dignitaries. And as we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, the time has now come for us to listen to our chief guest this evening. And now, to introduce Professor Savitri Gunasekara, I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda.
Professor Savitri Gunasekara, Emeritus Professor of Law, Savitri W.E. Gunasekara is often described as a woman pioneer in the legal and academics fields of Sri Lanka. Professor Gunasekara was the first female Vice Chancellor and it's the first Professor of Law of the University of Colombo. Professor Gunasekara has been and continues to be a distinguished legal scholar and is regionally and internationally acclaimed for her intellect, ethics, and charisma. She has made groundbreaking contributions in Sri Lanka and in South Asia in research relating to the areas of children's rights, women's rights, human rights law, and legal education. Above all, she is a great source of inspiration and encouragement for those who seek to advance truth, human dignity, justice, and democracy. Professor Gunasekara graduated from the then Department of Law, University of Peradeniya with first-class honors in 1961 and also qualifying as an attorney at law. She went on to read for her master's degree at the Harvard Law School in 1962 as a Smith-Mundt Fulbright Scholar. She was appointed as an academic at the Department of Law of the University of Ceylon. She went in to become a senior lecturer, moved to Colombo with the Department of Law, moving to University of Colombo, ultimately becoming the Professor of Law. She became an icon for women's empowerment and equality both in Sri Lanka and in the region. Professor Gunasekara's books, monographs, book chapters, articles, research reports are extensive in number and widely recognized as being excellent in their quality. The Sri Lanka Law of Parent and Child 2002, Children Law and Justice, a South Asian Perspective, Violence, Law and Women's Rights in South Asia are some of her publications that are regularly used as textbooks both nationally and internationally. Outstanding national, regional, and international achievements are only some aspects of the distinguished and charismatic persona of Professor Gunasekara. Those who have learned under her and worked with her attest to the dignity and integrity of Professor Savitri Gunasekara. On a personal note, I was fortunate to be a student when Professor Savitri Gunasekara was the Vice Chancellor, and she happens to read the citation of mine when I became the Student of the Year for the university in 1988. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Madam Savitri Gunasekara, our chief guest tonight, to address you. Professor Savitri Gunasekara.
Professor Prasad Katulanda, President of the Ceylon College of Physicians, distinguished guests of honor at the head table, Dr. Jasingha, Secretary of the Ministry of Health and special guest, Dr. Anula, our orator for this evening, Professor Methananda, Dr. Anula Vijayasundara, member of the Constitutional Council of Sri Lanka, and distinguished members of the legal profession, Professor Rizvi Sharif, former Dean of the Faculty of Medicine when I served as Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, and distinguished members of academia and colleagues. I want to thank President Katulanda for inviting me to be the chief guest at this inauguration of the 58th academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians. I'm a lawyer, and lawyers are supposed to be the persons with the silver and sometimes forked tongue. I have to confess that I feel considerably intimidated seeing the galaxy of medical professionals both from abroad and from Sri Lanka at this gathering. I rather anticipated that, and that is why I decided that perhaps what I could do this evening is to share some thoughts on medical education and public health, which I think may be common concerns at this session on the physician of the future. I have in my work often commented on the fact that the medical profession in this country is unique in having the concept of colleges, which bring together clinical practitioners and also academia. This is indeed a tradition which I congratulate you for sustaining, because it has ensured the high quality of medical education and the profession at a time when the education system of Sri Lanka is considered to be in crisis. Now, at a time when we are talking of system change and a reassessment of education priorities, it is indeed important that you are having this session and focusing in particular on this issue of the physician for the future. We live in times where sometimes institutional memory and the past is not considered relevant because so much is happening in these exciting new times of technology. But to assess the future, one I think needs to reflect on both the past and the present. And Professor Jason Stanley of Yale University has written on the fact that one of the crosses of our time is the erasing of history. So we do not tend to reflect on past experience. And this is important. For us too in this country, where we have a new government promising system change, there's sometimes a tendency to say that we in Sri Lanka have suffered 70 years of a curse in governance. It's called a sapia. I tend to challenge that because I think this country has witnessed in its post-independence times much that is remarkable, and that has a lot to do with what we achieved in regard to both public health and education, which in a sense has given this country for a long time high indicators in the area of both health and education, especially health, which has been the pride of South Asia. We tend to rest on our laurels, but that is a historical fact. The indicators for women, for children, and for general health in Sri Lanka has far better than any others in South Asia. And that was part of the fact that in the first years of independence and afterwards, there was a commitment to resource through national budgets, public health and public education. And therefore, the promise of quality health and service in the area of health has inspired generations of practitioners. And it was good to see before these sessions, the fact that you had photographs of many of the distinguished medical professions and physicians in this country, some of whom I had the privilege to know. So that is, you are not erasing history, and that is important, that connectivity. One of the reasons also why the medical profession has thrived is the system of colleges and professional expertise, linking universities and clinical practice, has meant that the medical system has been led by professionals. And we know that in the time of the COVID pandemic, Sri Lanka again received accolades with Kerala for its initial handling of the COVID pandemic, because we had someone like Dr. Jasinghe as Secretary of Ministry of Health, who gave a lot of leadership. And especially at that time, when there was so much talk on the importance of not having lockdowns, in fact, that is now an issue today, the fact that COVID compromised economic growth, and that it has, therefore, in a sense, public mistrust of the whole process. But we in Sri Lanka, in that first phase, received accolades for what we had achieved in coping with that pandemic, and the medical profession gave leadership. I think with gratitude of the citizen also, when there was so much controversy with regard to economic lockdowns and the fact that it would produce economic growth, it was a medical profession, the colleges, that articulated voice and persuaded the government to have those lockdowns, which actually saved so many lives. However, today, we live in a time where there is a great deal of discussion and intense pushback on the concept of resources for public health and public education. And especially cutting back on resources for public health is something that we should all be concerned about. The new mantra is affordability and efficiency. And in the process, it is ironical that the sense of disenchantment of the public with the corporate sector, with the drug expenses, with all that privatization of medicine has brought, has in fact led to a criticism of public health on the basis that it is inefficient, it's not delivering, and there is a sense of parasitic reliance on public health as social security. Why this dramatic change? I think we need to ask ourselves, and I hope your sessions also reflect on this, why this change? I think there is a whole contemporary discourse on the importance of the corporate sector, the economic efficiency, and that argument has meant that it's important, the importance of public health as a national resource is forgotten. In a sense, as a fundamental disconnect between the long-term benefits of a healthy and educated populace for economic growth and the corporate financial interests and understanding of economic efficiency. There is some controversy today about the involvement of professionals, including medical people, in areas that go beyond their profession. And there is a sense that you can pursue your profession without really linking with what is happening outside. I think we need again to question that, because when you see so many of the distinguished physicians and medical professionals that we saw on the screen, we have to recognize the enormous contribution of your profession in the public domain, how much they contributed, not only in the area of public health, to general concerns for the welfare of the populace of this country. In my, from my experience, I think disengagement of professionals and academics denies a country the benefit of non-partisan insights and thinking in political decision making. We must remind ourselves that issues of policy formulation and allocation of national resources are not just a matter to be left exclusively to those we elect to political office. Politicians, legislators, and administrators who make the decision impact all our lives, both personal and professional. There has been a lot of concern in our country about the exodus of medical professionals from this country. And we need to reflect on the fact that some of that is concerned with a disenchantment with regard to governance and the systems that we have introduced for institutional change in this country and to respond to issues of concern for the people. There is a sense sometimes that the accountability in governance is not there, and that therefore the future is not as bright as people would want it to be. But we have to also ask ourselves whether, if those professionals had been actively involved in something more than their professional lives, they would also have created a better life, a better context for all of us, and whether they have indeed followed that past tradition of stepping out of the professional era to contribute also in the wider sphere. In our country, we have followed a system of parliamentary democracy in governance for over 75 years. This may be linked to our colonial past, but I think we should also remember that democracy is not just a Western concept. It was born of human suffering and the experience of abuse of state power. Today, ironically, we see in many countries the call for executive power which trumps every other institution. In a democracy, we have three pillars: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And it is therefore not consistent with democracy to have one institution like the executive that trumps all other. That's a Freudian slip that, in a sense, discards the significance of the other pillars. So this idea that liberal values are in some way located with elitism, I think is something that needs to be challenged, because liberal values in democracy go to the fundamentals of human experience over many centuries. There was a time in the post-World War history where we were able to understand that governance and accountability to the people were important, and therefore develop consensus on important areas of concern for citizens, especially in regard to health and education. For example, the Sustainable Development Goals and many of the treaties which were adopted by the United Nations have that concept of good governance, accountability, and also commitments of national resources to the area of health and public education. Today, we see that that kind of multilateralism is being undermined, and we see bilateralism replacing multilateralism. And therefore, for instance, we see the sharing of national resources also being undermined. We saw recently the celebration or commemoration of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki episode. But at that same time, we saw so little international consensus on the horrors of Gaza and that reality. So consensus approaches on priorities for national development and health in particular has been a shared experience to the development of international standards and international consensus on key areas of concern, in particular areas like women's health, sexually transmitted disease, and disability. All those efforts are very important. And if they are not sustained, what challenges will they represent for the future? All these shifts and changes in the global context, which I hope you will also consider at this meeting, seem overwhelming. But yet, the daily responsibilities that you shoulder in your professional life present a different range of challenges, which can be addressed, I believe, in a collegiate environment. And significantly there, I think it's important again to see this, something we have in our country, which is a balance between public sector, public health engagement, and the private sector in the medical profession. However, that also calls upon medical professions to understand the need to think about what the public perceives as the impact of the privatization of medicine. Many of you are fortunate because you give us your services in the public sector and you also work in the private sector. I believe that balance is absolutely necessary for professional growth. But at the same time, there is a sense among the citizenry that, as one of my distinguished colleagues said in one of her orations many decades ago, is it going to be medicine as an art or medicine for the mart? And I think that is a challenge that everyone faces, but it's important to address that and try to ensure that it is always medicine as an art and not medicine for the mart. And then that, of course, requires also institutional changes, especially public concern with the importance of ethical standards and maintaining them. I do not know whether you have your own regulatory procedures for this. I hope you do so, because I believe that even if there is a general body of medical professionals who look into the area of ethics, if you have an internal system of ethics and regulation within your colleges, that kind of situation gives peer pressure for conformity to those standards. So that kind of consensus in ethics and values building, I believe, is also core to sustaining, for developing an ethos where you can decide on what kind of future you contemplate for physicians. Of course, this also must be rooted in the belief in science, in the belief in scholarship and science. One of the negative impacts of social media today is that there is enormous public confusion on what is right, what is wrong, what is correct, what is fake news, and that confusion is manifest in what we see in many countries. Now, in that context, I think it's especially important to retain faith in the discipline of science, and therefore to reject this rhetoric which says, for example, that vaccines are not good for you, that this is not good for you, or that is not good for you, creating public confusion and mistrust in the whole medical profession. There will be opportunities for multidisciplinary research at this conference, and I do hope that that will extend to connecting with other disciplines apart from yourselves. If you look at the law, for example, we had the Priani-Soiza case, which had demonstrated a gap in the law, and that was addressed by legislation. However, there are many areas where medical professionals and legal academics and lawyers can connect to ensure that some of the branches of colonial received law, like for example, the Roman Dutch law in the area of sexual harassment and clinical practice, as in the case of Nadraja versus Obesekara, that those gaps are addressed. I believe that faculties of medicine have a special role to play in this regard because they can bring together disciplines of different important interdisciplinary work, research, etc. But that also requires, in a sense, a review of the whole institutional arrangements that we have today for university education. When I was in the Senate, we had wonderfully interactive senates, which was small. We could brainstorm. I could ask what's going on in the medical faculty. Somebody else could ask what's going on in the law department, law faculties. And we would connect. This is not possible any longer because the university system in the country today has bloated senates with membership of like 300. How can you possibly have sensible university governance in that context? So we need not just amendments to the Universities Act, but a complete repeal of that 1978 legislation, which we have been stuck with for so many decades, and a rethinking on how we can make institutional governance universities effective so that we can retain the quality of education. Teaching and learning in professional disciplines has become exciting today. In my generation, it was chalk and talk and not IT and AI. Now I understand, and many of us do of an older generation, that the mouse is not just a thing that runs along on its feet, that a window is something with not just an ordinary window which brings in light, and that a WhatsApp is not a cheery greeting which says, "What's up?" We know that. So many of us are challenged by technology, but we have to learn to live with it. But as we do so, I think it's important to recognize that the excitement of artificial intelligence and IT must also go with a sense of the need to regulate and to see what the future actually holds. In our own professions, in the social sciences, and I don't know whether this is so in medicine, there is a sense that, yes, AI might be an excellent form of collecting information, that it will be a way of bringing together a much better Google search than anything that you have. But what about the other aspects of analysis? The importance of understanding how you can respond to plagiarism in scholarship, in academia. These are all great challenges. We are constantly told that AI will transform our lives beneficially, and it will have huge beneficial impact on all areas of our lives, including public health systems. ChatGPT may provide a lot of answers based on a collection of sources and materials, but who validates this? And what space is there for the analysis of collated material that a human brain, with all its diverse capacities, can provide? Is there space for a moral compass and human emotions of compassion and risk-benefit thinking in decision-making? We live in times where politically, economically, and socially, the priority is for deregulation and relativism regarding values. Inevitably, little attention seems to be given to understanding the limitations of AI and addressing impact, enamored as we are with the AI that the human mind itself has created. The sessions of your conference, which I expect will provide opportunities to also network with IT professionals, can perhaps focus not just on the marvels of AI, but possibly negative implications and the priority that should be given to regulation. The dawn of a brave new world in AI and communications must surely not be an opportunity for self-destruction. AI must surely not translate to the Midas touch of Greek mythology that destroyed humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Savitri Gunasekara. We request you to remain in front to accept a token of appreciation and to present it. I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda. Ladies and gentlemen, what words of thought and what a great speech by the chief guest this evening. Let's give a good round of applause to Professor Savitri Gunasekara, Emeritus Professor of Law, University of Colombo. Thank you very much for your thought-provoking and knowledge-sharing address this evening. Thank you very much, dignitaries. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering something very important in the agenda. Now, during the President's address also, he mentioned that we will be launching two important things during the session today. Now, CCP always tries to, keep coming up with innovative stuff to give the best experience to its members. And here's one such. Now, with the thought of undertaking a proper CPD recording and evaluation process for the members who are specialists, CCP is launching a CPD portal today. Now, that's the very first launch. And the second is, now as much as we keep talking about the theme today, which is physician for the future, and throughout many addresses you heard how we cannot move forward without AI. We all know that AI is sort of taking over our lives. Now, how can AI be used in medicine? We're also ready to launch the white paper on AI in medicine. Now, to take control and proceed with the proceedings, I cordially invite the President of Ceylon College of Physicians, Professor Prasad Katulanda.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, continuous development of a profession and its professional is an integral part of development of a profession. In addition, this is very important to safeguard the rights of their clients, in our case, our patients. When it comes to medical profession, we don't need to describe the importance of such CPD programs. To ensure that medical professionals maintain satisfactory level of CPD, they are fit to practice. CPD has been quite organized, stringent, as well as evaluated in developed countries and plays an integral part of revalidation and reaccreditation. Although we undertake a lot of such activities by CCP and all our colleges and associations, there is no formal recording and evaluation process of CPD at the moment. The Ministry of Health has undertaken an ambitious program with regards to this. And while this is in process, we thought of undertaking a proper CPD recording and evaluation process for our members. In fact, this is something that was there in my head for many years. And as specialists, we think that the physicians and other specialties should have an even higher level of achieving of CPD status. So, in complementary to the Ministry of Health program, we wanted to develop a CPD recording process. And for that, we thought the best would be to develop a very good CPD portal. Let me now invite Dr. Chiranthi Liyanage to lead the launch of this portal. And also I would like to invite several personalities who have been involved in this process and who are also responsible for this process. Let me invite Dr. Chiranthi Liyanage, who had been one of the coordinators in this process, and also Dr. Anil Jasinga, Secretary Health, sir. If in the audience, Dr. Samidhi Samarkon, the Director, ETNR, Ministry of Health, Professor Vajra Disanayaka, President, Sri Lanka Medical Council, Professor Indika Karunatilaka, Vice Chancellor, University of Colombo, and Professor Senaka Rajapaksa, Director, PGIM, to officially launch the portal, and for Dr. Chiranthi to take us through briefly the CPD portal. We call it My CCP CPD. please join in the launch. Chiranti, please come forward and assist in the launch.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting ready for the official launch of the CCP CPD web portal. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen. It's now launched. CCP My CPD. Congratulations. Let's have another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Chiranti, over to you.
Thank you, everyone. So it is my pleasure to present to you the CCP My CPD platform, which is a complete digital solution for recording and managing CPD activities. So for a member, the process will begin with creating an account, which is automatically validated with individual identifiers. And once logged in, they will be welcomed by a personalized homepage, which will show their progress across different domains. And from there, they will be able to access their e-diaries, which will show their already logged in activities. And also they'll be able to add new activities. And in doing so, they'll be able to upload proof, add reflections, and enter the CPD credits and log these into their diaries. Along with that, members will be able to create their own personal development plans. And throughout the year, the system will track progress. And by the end of the year, they can submit the diary, and there will be a CPD compliance certificate that is approved, which can be downloaded. There's CPD news and different events that can be accessed through the system as well. And then for CPD providers, be it a professional college or an association or healthcare institutions, they will have their own accounts, own gateway. And they can add any program or an event that has already been approved by the Ministry of Health with the number of credits. And once it's entered into the system, it will appear as a registered activity for members to add to their diaries. Providers can also add lists of participants, which can generate automatic notifications and also manage all their events and activities within the system itself. The system administrator will have the ability to manage all users and, most importantly, customize and configure key settings, including creating diaries with end and start dates, customizing different domains, setting minimum credit requirements. So the system is fully customizable and flexible to adapt to any changing national requirements. So this platform has been designed as a complete solution, end-to-end solution for bringing CPD providers and members onto the same platform, simplifying the process and making it easier so that we can ensure our members comply with the national standards that are required. And creating this platform has been the effort of the CPD committee, which was set up at the beginning of the year, as Professor Katlanda mentioned. And we've had multiple meetings, many hours of discussions and brainstorming sessions to conceptualize drawing from similar systems in other countries and international frameworks. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing today is a working prototype that is being tested, and the full system will go live in November 2025. So we invite all our members to subscribe to the platform, and all our sister colleges and other professional associations and other CPD providers to partner with us to make full use of this system. Thank you.
I think you have been hearing a lot of things about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has become the next revolution, like the Industrial Revolution. It might change the way humans live. The implications of AI in medicine is unimaginable. AI will be useful and already in use in diagnostics, therapeutics, therapeutic decision making, especially in precision medicine. Not only that, in disease prediction, surveillance, and prevention, as well as in health promotion. And a lot of things are happening in the areas of medical education. It has come to a point where we cannot just go without AI, but at least for a foreseeable future, we should make use of AI, but not replacing perhaps the human factor. At the same time, a lot of ethical, societal, legal dilemmas and issues are cropping up, particularly confidentiality and breach of trust, and all these things are being discussed. Therefore, at CCP, we felt that it is very timely and it is very important that we have some discussion on the use of AI in medicine. So we got the permission of the council to appoint a task force who brainstormed and also conducted some meetings and started discussing. We included our members and non-CCP members who are also working in the area of AI, and also many of our expatriate colleagues from US, UK, Singapore, who are using AI as well as who are involved in AI regulation. And also we included legal experts and also IT professionals in our committee. So with the work of several months, we came up with the first version of a consensus document, the white paper of AI by the Ceylon College of Physicians. I'm sure this will be a document that we can discuss with many other professional colleges, professional bodies, and would be the basis for discussion on the use of AI in medicine. You are seeing the members of the AI subcommittee, and I'm very thankful to all of them for a lot of hard work, and would like to invite again Chiranti, who had been the coordinator of the AI writing group, to present the first copies to the dignitaries in the head table.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause as CCP launches the white paper on AI in medicine. Thank you very much. Let's have one more round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, congratulating CCP for the two launches, launching the CPD web portal and the white paper on AI in medicine. With that, we're now getting ready for the address of our special guest this evening, Dr. Anil Jasinghe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to officially invite, by introducing him, I cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to invite Dr. Anil Jasinghe, the Secretary of Health in the Ministry of Health and Mass Media. Dr. Anil Jasinghe is a leader whose career has left an indelible mark on Sri Lanka's healthcare and environmental sectors, blending academic rigor, administrative excellence, and global advocacy. Dr. Jasinghe currently serves as the Secretary of Ministry of Health and Mass Media, and his career is a testament to his exceptional leadership in public health. After his undergraduate studies, he began his medical journey in Sri Lanka in 1990 and rose to become the Director General of Health Services, especially in a time when the country was plagued with the COVID pandemic. He played a critical role in the country's disaster management framework, demonstrating remarkable leadership also in the 2004 tsunami, civil war, and as I said, in the COVID pandemic, with a lot of hard work, decisive actions in controlling and curbing these outbreaks, as well as getting the system geared to face the disasters like tsunami and civil war. Prior to his current appointment, he served as the Senior Additional Secretary at the Presidential Secretariat and the CEO of Sri Lanka's Climate Change Office. Dr. Jayasinghe's trajectory reflects a rare confluence of technical expertise and strategic leadership. His tenure as Secretary of the Ministry of Environment from 2020 to 2023 was a period of transformative process, during which he led the amendment of the National Environmental Act, crafted the National Environment Policy, and spearheaded the National Environmental Action Plan 2022-2030. Internationally, he represented the country with distinction, serving as Vice President of the Global Green Growth Initiative, where he worked alongside prominent figures like former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, and as chair of the Asia Pacific Environment Authorities Forum, fostering collaboration among 41 nations. Beyond his administrative roles, Dr. Jayasinghe has been a prolific academic contributor, holding positions such as Chairman of the Board of Management in Medical Administration and serving as an examiner for postgraduate medical programs, especially in medical administration. His extensive publications and orations at international forums reflect his commitment to advancing knowledge in healthcare and environmental science. His exceptional leadership, innovative thinking, and relentless dedication to public service make him a figure of national and international renown. His remarkable achievements spanning critical sectors and global platforms ensure his legacy as a transformative leader. On a personal note, I had known and worked with Dr. Jayasinghe for several decades as the Deputy Director General of National Hospital, Director General of Health Services, and now as the Secretary of Health. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Anil Jayasinghe, Secretary of Health and Mass Media, and our special guest today to address you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Much respected Emeritus Professor Savitri Gunasekara. Let me thank ma'am for you for your remarks on the health system, on us, and personally on me. We are really touched by those words. Professor Vidya Jyoti Prasad Katulanda, the President of the Ceylon College of Physicians, distinguished guests of honor representing international academia. In fact, it's a galaxy of presidents from all over the world. I asked from Professor Prasad how you could gather all of them on one stage on the same day. Distinguished fellows and members, the past presidents, eminent past presidents of the college, respected colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and privilege for me to be with you in this room at your 58th inauguration to scientific sessions of Ceylon College of Physicians. I extend my warmest congratulations to the college on reaching this important milestone in its proud journey. For nearly 6 decades, the Ceylon College of Physicians has remained a beacon of excellence in Sri Lanka's medical community. The college has not only nurtured generations of physicians, but has also fostered research, innovation, and professional development. Its efforts have strengthened clinical practice and ensured that our people receive highest levels of care. Today, the health landscape is constantly changing. We face challenges such as emerging diseases, lifestyle-related illnesses, and the growing expectations of our people amidst the economic challenges in providing sustainable health care. Meeting these demands require knowledge, skills, and firm commitment to evidence-based practice. In this regard, the contribution of the Ceylon College of Physicians is truly indispensable. Your academic sessions are more than a scientific gathering. They are a platform for exchange of knowledge, for critical discussion, and for shaping the future direction of health in this country. They also strengthen links between Sri Lanka and the global medical community. This culture of learning and collaboration has been vital in uplifting standards of healthcare across the nation. On behalf of the Ministry of Health, I wish to acknowledge with deep appreciation the dedication of the fellows and members of this college. Your commitment and expertise are a source of strength to our health system and a source of confidence and hope for our citizens. I'm indeed happy to have witnessed launching of your CPD program, and I'm happy that the Ministry of Health has also contributed to your task, and I'm sure you would be able to develop this CPD program. Of course, as the physicians, you have been in forefront in CPD program all throughout. And also I'm happy to have witnessed launching of white paper on AI. And also I must say the present government is now introducing a statewide use of AI. So there have been series of programs on AI. I believe that in time to come, AI would be a thing that we have to be conversant. As you celebrate your 58th anniversary, I encourage you to carry forward your mission with renewed purpose and vision. The future of healthcare in Sri Lanka will depend greatly on the continued leadership and contributions of Ceylon College of Physicians. I wish academic sessions a success, every success, and I wish the college continued growth and excellence in the years ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anil John Singh. I request you to remain in front to accept a token of appreciation. And to present the appreciation, I would like to cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katalanda. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause to our special guest this evening, Dr. Anil Jasinghe. Thank you very much for your presence and for your address this evening. Thank you very much, dignitaries. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to move into the presentation of awards. And now I cordially invite Dr. Praveen Veerathunga, Honorary Joint Secretary of the Ceylon College of Physicians, to conduct the session. And I also invite Professor Prasad Katulanda, the President of Ceylon College of Physicians, to present the awards on stage. Over to both of you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to start with awarding of the Dr. Soma De Silva Award for the best performance at the MD Medicine selection examination. Firstly, for the October-November 2024 diet, to Dr. Vitanage Dona Tatsarani Amaya Mahatantila. And next, for the April-May 2025 diet, Dr. Laksharanya Rajohan. Next, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce the Dr. Nanda Amarasekar Award for the best performance at the MD Medicine examination. Firstly, for the October 2024 diet, Dr. Varusa Hannadige Lumal Malaka Soiza. Next, for the February-March 2025 diet, Dr. Pramit Shashindra Ruwanpatirana. Next, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce the Dr. E.M. Vijayaram Award for the best presentation at the Young Physicians Forum organized by the Ceylon College of Physicians. Dr. H.K.C.A. Kankanamge. Next, the Merit Awards for the Young Physicians Forum 2024 to 2025 to the following. Dr. Vishwa Dilshan Vijaykur. Dr. Lumal Malaka Soiza. Dr. Krishna Ranatunga. President Dr. Parami Gunasinghe. Next, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce the award for the most innovative outstation physician for the year 2025, which is awarded to Dr. Suren William De Silva, consultant rheumatologist at the District General Hospital in Navalapitiya, for the submission titled A Quality Improvement Project on Introduction of Focused Patient Education and Patient Advice Line, carried out at the Rheumatology Outpatient Clinics, District General Hospital, Navalapitiya. And last but not least, the best publication by a physician for the year 2024 is awarded to Professor Chamila Methananda, who is a professor in pharmacology at the Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, for the paper titled Development and Validation of a Cardiovascular Risk Prediction Model for Sri Lankans Using Machine Learning, published in PLOS ONE on the 22nd of October 2024.
Give very much, Dr. Praveen Veeratunga. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we give a huge round of applause to all of those outstanding achievers who got recognized right here on stage. With that, it's now time to move into the awarding of fellowships. First, we'll start off with the awarding of honorary fellowships. And now I cordially invite Dr. Upul Disanaikar, immediate past president of Ceylon College of Physicians, to present the citations of the new honorary fellows. And I would once again like to call upon the president of Ceylon College of Physicians, Professor Prasad Katulanda, to present the fellowships. And ladies and gentlemen, I kindly request that when your name is read out as an honorary fellow, you may please rise and remain standing while the citation is being read. Thank you.
Professor Javed Akram, MBBS, MD, MRCP UK, FRCP London, FRCP Edinburgh, FRCP Glasgow, FACP USA, FACC USA, FACIM USA. Professor Javed Akram is a globally acclaimed physician, researcher, and an academic leader whose contributions to medicine span clinical care, research, education, and policy. With an unparalleled impact factor of 890, the highest ever for a Pakistani doctor, he has authored 6 books and over 195 research papers in leading journals including Lancet, BMJ, and NEJM. His distinguished career includes serving as Minister of Health Punjab, Minister for Social Welfare, Vice Chancellor of both Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Medical University and the University of Health Sciences Lahore. He has served as the Principal of Allama Iqbal Medical College, CEO of Jinnah Hospital, Principal of Federal Medical College and CEO of Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences. Professor Akram has been a principal investigator of clinical trials on COVID-19 vaccines, led research groups in gene cloning, stem cell regeneration, and pharmaceutical biotechnology. He has received the Prime Minister's Gold Medal, Tamga-i Imtiaz, and multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards. He is a fellow of several prestigious international colleges and an international advisor to the Royal College of Physicians, London. Professor Akram was the founding president of Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine and is now the chairman of the organization. He is also the founding president of Society for Novel and Rare Diseases. He continues to be a visionary medical educationist, researcher, and health administrator, and advocate for accessible healthcare in Pakistan and beyond. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Professor Javed Akram for the honorary fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Professor George Dalekos, MD, PhD, FEFIM, FAA, SLD. Professor George Dalekos is currently the President, European Society of Internal Medicine and Head, Department of Medicine, Larissa University of Hospital, Greece. He graduated from the Athens Medical School in 1985, following which he earned internal medicine specialty and his PhD in 1995. He is a board member of the Hellenic Society of Internal Medicine, chair of Clinical Practice Guidelines for Autoimmune Hepatitis, vice president of Internal Medicine Society of Greece from 2012 to 18, and vice president and president of Hellenic Association for the Study of Liver Disease from 2013 to 15, and from 15 to 2017. He is a member of many scientific committees, acknowledged for exceptional medical activity in internal medicine, Bucharest Medical School, and has acted as academic editor, reviewer, or editorial board member in numerous journals, and is an expert reviewer of research projects like Medical Research Council, Wellcome Trust, and Austrian Science Fund. His areas of scientific interest are clinical immunology, autoimmune hepatitis, primary biliary cirrhosis, viral hepatitis, zoonosis, and hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis. Professor Dalekos has published more than 392 manuscripts with more than 28,000 citations and has an H-index of 79 and recognized in the global ranking of top 2% of scientists of the Standard University database. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Professor George Dalekos for the honorary fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Professor Andrew Elder, PRCP Edinburgh, MACP, FRCSED, FRCP, FRCPSG, FAMM, FAMS, FVCPS. Professor Andrew Elder is the first geriatrician to become president of the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh. Educated at Edinburgh Medical School, he has been an NHS consultant in medicine for older people since 1993, and in 2015 was appointed as an honorary professor at Edinburgh Medical School. Recognized as an expert in the teaching and assessment of clinical skills, Professor Elder has taught, assessed, and lectured on bedside clinical skills in over 20 countries in the past 10 years. He has been a visiting professor at a number of US institutions, including Stanford University, California, where he is currently a Presence Fellow and a Scholar, the University of Alabama at Birmingham, Washington University at St. Louis, and in 2022, he became the inaugural visiting professor of bedside medicine at Johns Hopkins, Baltimore. In 2021, he was awarded Mastership of the American College of Physicians, becoming the first doctor practicing in Scotland and only the second in UK to attain this honor since its inception in 1923. He believes that compassion, communication, and core clinical skills remain fundamental to high-quality care and therefore have prime importance in contemporary medical education. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Professor Andrew Elder for honorary fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Professor Mumtaz Patel, MB-CHB Honours, FRCP UK, FHEA, PG Diploma in Medical Education and PhD. Professor Patel is a consultant nephrologist at Manchester University Hospital, NHS Foundation Trust, and honorary clinical professor at the University of Liverpool. Elected in April 2025, she is the president of the Royal College of Physicians London and the first woman of South Asian heritage to lead the RCP in its 500-year history. She studied medicine at the University of Manchester, qualifying in 1996, and completed a PhD in the genetics of lupus nephritis in 2006. She became a consultant in 2007 and completed a master's in medical education in 2014, and since then has developed a national reputation in postgraduate education, assessment and training. She is also the senior censor and vice president for education and training at the Royal College of Physicians, London. As a vice president, education and training, she led the development of a new education strategy. During her tenure as a past global vice president at the Royal College of Physicians, London, she expanded international engagement and launched the RCP's Global Women Leaders Program. She previously served as a postgraduate associate dean for NHS England Northwest and is also a director for Conduct and Progress at the University of Liverpool School of Medicine. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Professor Mumtaz Patel for the Honorary Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. The President, the members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Jennifer Martin, as she is unable to attend the ceremony, will be conferred the Honorary Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians in absentia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Upul Disanaika, for conducting the honorary fellowship session. Let's have another good round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to the new honorary fellows. And now we're getting ready to award the fellowships. Now I cordially invite Dr. Dumita Govindapala, Senior Lecturer and Honorary Consultant Physician, Fellow, Ceylon College of Physicians, to present the citations of the new fellows. And I would also like to cordially invite President Professor Prasad Katulanda back on stage to present the fellowships. And ladies and gentlemen, I kindly request, when your name is read out as a fellow, please rise from wherever you are and remain standing until the citation is read. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Dumita.
Thank you. Dr. Kalutantri Pattabandi Chamila Dalpadadu, MBBS, MD, Postgraduate Diploma in Gastroenterology. Dr. Dalpadadu graduated with first class honors from the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo in 2005, receiving distinctions and gold medals in both medicine and surgery. Having obtained her MD in medicine and comprehensive geriatric medicine training in Monash Health in Australia, she was board certified as a specialist physician in 2014. She currently serves as a senior lecturer at the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo. Dr. Dalpadadu is the president of the Sri Lankan Association of Geriatric Medicine and director of the Center for Aging Research and Ambulatory Care at the Faculty of Medicine, Colombo. She serves as a consultant for the WHO World Health Survey Plus 2025 and a member of the specialty boards of Geriatric Medicine and Physiology at PGIM. She was the Honorary Joint Secretary of the CCP in 2023 and has served on the Council for 3 consecutive years. Dr. Dalpadadu has received the prestigious Global Physician Scholar Award from the American College of Physicians in 2023. Her research interests include geriatric medicine, autonomic dysfunction, and the application of mindfulness in diabetes management. She has numerous publications in both local and international peer-reviewed journals. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Dr. Dalpadadu for the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Dr. Lalindra Darshan Dias, MBBS, MD, MRCP UK, FRCP London, FRCP Edinburgh, FACP. Dr. Dias is a clinician and a medical educator with over 2 decades of experience in clinical practice in Sri Lanka and Australia. He commenced his secondary education at Royal College, Colombo, having qualified through the Year 5 scholarship examination with outstanding results, and was awarded the prestigious Sir Edward Denham Memorial Prize for Mathematics. Later, he graduated from the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and obtained his MD in Medicine in 2010. Following an advanced training in internal medicine at Flinders Medical Centre, Adelaide, he was board certified as a specialist physician in 2012. During this period, he has served as an associate lecturer at the Flinders University Medical School, Southern Adelaide. Dr. Dias has made significant contributions to undergraduate and postgraduate medical education in Sri Lanka. He has served as an honorary senior lecturer at the University of Waimbur and as an external examiner for the final MBBS examination at the University of Peradeniya. He continues to play an active role in postgraduate training as a resource person for MD preparatory and clinical training courses conducted by the Ceylon College of Physicians. He is a past president of the Hill Country Clinical Society and served as co-editor of the Hill Country Medical Journal in 2018. Dr. Dias currently serves as a consultant physician at the District General Hospital, Negombo, and has held appointments at several leading hospitals across Sri Lanka. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Dr. Dias for the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Dr. Patiranage Don Nishanta Pereira, MBBS, MD, FRACP, Diploma in Palliative Medicine, Victorian Geriatric Medicine Continence Fellow, Master of Clinical Education. Dr. Pereira is a dual-trained specialist in geriatric medicine and internal medicine, currently serving as a consultant physician at Box Hill Hospital in Melbourne, Australia. He commenced his medical career at the University of Colombo, graduating in 1998, and obtained his MD in medicine from the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo, in 2004. Following his services as a resident physician in Galle, he moved to Australia in 2007 to pursue further specialist training. He completed dual advanced training in geriatrics and general medicine in Melbourne, earning fellowship of the Royal Australasian College of Physicians in 2014. He completed a geriatric continence fellowship at Alfred Health and was awarded a clinical diploma in palliative medicine in 2015. In addition to his clinical expertise, Dr. Pereira holds a Master of Clinical Education from the University of Melbourne and has served as an examiner for the RACP and for Monash and Deakin universities. He has authored several publications in peer-reviewed journals. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Dr. Pereira for the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Dr. Dilrukshi Maheshika Jayasekara Tennakon, MBBS, MD, MRCP UK. Dr. Tennakon received her secondary education at Visakha Vidyalaya in Colombo and graduated from the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo in 2001 with second-class honors. She obtained her MD in General Medicine in 2011 and subsequently specialized in rheumatology and rehabilitation. Following the successful completion of her advanced subspecialty training at Hammersmith and Charing Cross Hospitals under the Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust, in the United Kingdom, she was conferred board certification as a specialist in rheumatology and rehabilitation in 2014. Dr. Tennakone is an active member of the College of Specialists in Rheumatology and Rehabilitation in Sri Lanka, where she has held several key positions, including Assistant Secretary, and currently serves as Treasurer. She has contributed significantly to postgraduate medical education as a member of the Specialty Board in Rheumatology at the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine since 2018. She has held the position of Secretary of the Specialty Board continuously since 2018. President, members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Dr. Tennakone for the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Dr. Morandage Ramya Prasanna Veeravansa, MBBS, MD, is a senior lecturer and an honorary consultant physician in the Department of Medicine at the Faculty of Medicine, Rajaratnam University of Sri Lanka. He received his secondary education at St. Anthony's College, Katugastota, and graduated from the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Peradeniya in 1999. He obtained his MD in Medicine in 2008. He was board certified as a specialist physician after successful completion of his overseas training at Lancashire Teaching Hospital NHS Foundation Trust in the United Kingdom. In 2010, Dr. Veeravansa joined Rajaratnam University as one of the founding members of the Department of Medicine and served as head for several years. Dr. Veeravansa plays an active role in postgraduate medical education as a trainer and examiner at the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo. He is a past president of the Anuradhapura Clinical Society. His research focuses on tropical diseases, particularly snakebite and leptospirosis, and has been published in many leading peer-reviewed journals. In recognition of his academic contributions, he has received several Dean's Awards and 3 Presidential Awards. Beyond his clinical and academic work, Dr. Veeravansa is also passionate about architecture, sports, and tourism. President, members of the Council, and ladies and gentlemen, may I now present Dr. Veeravansa for the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians. The following members will be conferred the Fellowship of the Ceylon College of Physicians in absentia: Dr. Ruhunage Don Bennett Dayaratna, Dr. Gunanayagam Ilang Ceylon, Dr. Umayal Indraraja Lakshman, Dr. Muhammad Najubuddin Muhammad Swaib. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dumita Govindapala. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a sounding round of applause congratulating the new fellows. Congratulations. And with that, it's now time for the oration, ladies and gentlemen. I now cordially invite the President, Professor Prasad Katulanda, to introduce the orator, to award the orator, and invite the orator to speak a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, the oration of the Ceylon College of Physicians is the most prestigious oration of the Ceylon College of Physicians, which is awarded to scientists of high distinction after calling applications and a rigorous review process where the best oration script is selected. So this year, Professor Chamila Mettananda has won the CCP oration. Professor Chamila Mettananda, MBBS, MD, MRCP, PhD, FRCP, FRCPE, FACP, FCCP, has her education at the Mahamaya Girls College, Kandy. She entered the University of Peradeniya and after achieving a third best GCA level results in Kandy district in 1996. Graduating with an MBBS in 2004 with 8 distinctions, second class honors, and the University Prize for Best Performance in the final MBBS, she completed her MD in Medicine at the PGIM Colombo in 2010. She completed her post-MD overseas training in general internal medicine at the John Radcliffe Hospital, Oxford, UK, and was board certified as a specialist in internal medicine in 2012. She currently holds the specialist registration in general internal medicine, both the Sri Lanka Medical Council and the GMC UK. Between 2013 and 2015, she worked as a clinical research fellow at the Nuffield Department of Clinical Neurosciences of the University of Oxford, where she conducted her research in cardiovascular epidemiology, for which she earned her PhD from the University of Kelaniya. Professor Mettananda joined the University of Kelaniya in 2005 and was promoted to the post of professor in pharmacology in 2019. She serves on multiple national advisory boards for non-communicable diseases, medicine regulation, and formulary revision. She is the current chairperson of the Specialty Board in Clinical Pharmacology at the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, University of Colombo. She has authored over 60 peer-reviewed publications, of which many are in high-impact publications, including The Lancet. She has over 9,000 citations and an H index of 24. Her accolades include the Dr. S. Ramachandran Memorial Oration, EMW Vijayarama Prize for Sri Lanka Medical Association, Deshapanna Dr. J.B. Piris Award of Ceylon College of Physicians, Dr. Pramod Ranatunga Research Award of Sri Lanka College of Cardiologists, and the Global Physician Scholar Award by the American College of Physicians. She is an elected fellow of the Ceylon College of Physicians and the American College of Physicians and Royal College of Physicians, London and Edinburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have an academic and a researcher who had conducted high caliber research, and I would like to invite Professor Chamila Mettananda to deliver the CCP oration for 2025. Professor Chamila Mettananda. Before Chamila starts oration, let me give her the CCP oration medal and the certificate.
President and the Council of the Ceylon College of Physicians, Chief Guest, Guests of Honor, Special Guest, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great privilege to deliver the Ceylon College of Physicians Oration 2025 to pay tribute to the Mother College of the Physicians, founded in 1967 by a group of 10 physicians with Dr. E.M. Vijayarama as its first president. I thank Professor Prasad Katulanda and the Council of the Ceylon College of Physicians for honoring me with the Ceylon College of Physicians Oration 2025, titled From Data to Diagnosis, Revolutionizing Cardiovascular Risk Assessment in Sri Lanka with Artificial Intelligence. Cardiovascular diseases are a global problem. CVD are diseases involving the heart and the blood vessels. CVD is the number one cause of death globally, accounting for 32% of all deaths. Of all deaths, 85% are due to either heart attacks, ischemic heart disease, or stroke. 80% of these deaths occur in low-middle income countries, and 1 in 3 occur prematurely in less than 70-year-olds, affecting the workforce of a country. CVD is a significant problem in Sri Lanka as well. Ischemic heart disease is the number one cause of deaths, accounting to 23% deaths of hospital deaths in Sri Lanka in 2019. Now, how can we reduce cardiovascular burden? Modifiable risk factors account for about 80 to 90% of CVDs. Treatment of CVD is expensive and may not be curative always. Some CVDs occur suddenly, leaving little or no time to seek treatment. Therefore, the best way to reduce CVD burden, especially in a developing country, is primary prevention of CVD. So what's the best strategy for implementing primary prevention? Risk factors usually cluster together and interact multiplicatively. Therefore, the benefit of treatment is more in patients with high cardiovascular risk than in people with low or moderate cardiovascular risk. Therefore, the best strategy to implement primary prevention is to go by high-risk strategy rather than going by a population-based strategy. This requires a reliable risk prediction model. There is no specific risk prediction model for Sri Lankans. Therefore, different risk prediction models are being used by physicians. These are either models developed for the Southeast Asia region, like the WHO risk charts, or the models developed for white Caucasians, like ACVD score, score charts, Framingham risk score, etc. None of these is validated among Sri Lankans. Therefore, these risk charts may not predict Sri Lankans' cardiovascular risk accurately. Therefore, using the best risk model for Sri Lankan is very important. We know South Asians are different to white Caucasians. We have a different lifestyle, distinct genetic makeup, different cardiovascular risk profiles, and we develop CVDs 10 years younger than the white Caucasians. On the other hand, Sri Lankans are different to other Southeast Asia region nations in lifestyle, literacy rate, health metrics, etc. Therefore, selecting the best risk prediction model for Sri Lankans is crucial, and developing a new risk prediction model specific to Sri Lankans would be the ideal. I aim to answer these outstanding research questions in this oration. Firstly, I will compare the cardiovascular risk predictions of a Sri Lankan cohort using different prediction models to study the agreement between models. Secondly, I will describe the validation of the WHO risk charts in a Sri Lankan cohort. Thirdly, I will present an experiment in predicting cardiovascular risk of Sri Lankans using AI. Finally, I will present the development of a cardiovascular risk prediction model specific to Sri Lankans. Comparing cardiovascular risk predictions using different models. We calculated cardiovascular risk predictions of patients who attended a medical clinic at the Faculty of Medicine, Ragama, over 4 months in 2017 using both WHO risk charts and the Framingham risk charts. We categorized patients into low and high risk groups depending on their risk. We studied the agreement between predictions using Cohen's kappa coefficient. We use both the WHO risk chart meant for Southeast Asia region B and the Framingham General Cardiovascular Risk Score. Both these predict 10-year cardiovascular risk of developing a hard cardiovascular event, i.e. a myocardial infarction, stroke, or PVD. A risk more than 20% is defined as high risk. There are two versions of risk models, one using cholesterol-based and the second one using BMI-based, to be used in different settings depending on the availability of data. So we used all models. This slide shows agreement between predictions for the high-risk individuals using the two risk models. So Framingham risk predictions are in green. As you can see, the Framingham risk score based on total cholesterol predicted 36% of the population to be high risk. The same with the BMI-based model was 47%. The agreement between these two predictions were good according to kappa value. The WHO predictions are shown in blue color. So WHO risk charts based on total cholesterol predicted cardiovascular risk of the high-risk population as 9.5%. The BMI-based risk model predicted 10.7% of the population studied to be at high risk. These two also agreed, the predictions did agree. However, the predictions of the Framingham risk chart and the WHO scores did not agree satisfactorily. You also can appreciate that the Framingham risk score, the predictions were higher compared to the WHO risk score. We concluded that the cardiovascular risk predictions of Framingham risk score were higher than the WHO risk charts, and the agreement in risk stratification was not satisfactory in Sri Lankans. Therefore, we recommended that different cardiovascular risk prediction models should not be used interchangeably in the follow-up of Sri Lankans. We published our findings in the International Journal of Clinical Practice. Now, validation of the WHO risk charts in a Sri Lankan cohort. We validated the WHO risk charts in the Ragama Health Study cohort. Ragama Health Study is an ongoing, prospective, community-based cohort study established in 2007 in the Ragama MOH area to study the epidemiology of non-communicable diseases. The sample was selected by stratified random sampling of 35 to 64-year-olds in the Ragama MOH area in 2007. The participants are followed up at regular intervals and all data related to NCDs are sustained. We selected patients 40 years or above in 2007 who had complete data on the cardiovascular outcome by 2017. There were 2,517 patients selected, and there were 215 cardiovascular events recorded over the 10-year follow-up. We calculated all the patients' 10-year cardiovascular risk predictions using the data of 2007 using WHO charts. And we compared the predictions in 2007 with observed events by 2017. This table shows validation data. The cells are shaded when the predictions and the observations tally. WHO risk charts showed good overall prediction in 81% of the population. The predictions were more accurate when patients are categorized into low and high risk groups only, rather than categorizing them into several risk categories. And the predictions were accurate in men and low-risk individuals, but the predictions were less accurate in high-risk women. We concluded that the predictions of the WHO risk charts showed 81% agreement with observed cardiovascular events, but with low accuracy in women and high-risk individuals. We published our findings in PLOS ONE. This work won 3 awards: Dr. E.M. Vijayarama Award for the Best Presentation at the Annual Academic Sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians 2020, Best Publication by a Physician Award by the Ceylon College of Physicians and the Sri Lanka College of Internal Medicine in 2022. Cardiovascular risk prediction of Sri Lankans using artificial intelligence. Even though the WHO risk charts are satisfactory in predicting low-risk individuals, they are less sensitive, especially in high-risk females. Therefore, we sought to develop a better model to predict the cardiovascular risk of Sri Lankans. We experimented with cardiovascular risk prediction of Sri Lankans using artificial intelligence in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology. We used secondary data from the Ragame Health study. We extracted data of patients 40 years or above who were naive to cardiovascular diseases in 2007. So the baseline cohort consisted of 2,596 patients. They did not have any existing cardiovascular diseases. Over the 10-year follow-up by 2017, 179 patients developed incident cardiovascular diseases. That means first ever in lifetime events. The model was developed using machine learning. We used Google Colab machine learning platform and Python programming language to develop models. We developed 2 models. First one, a 75 variable model using all variables available in the database. And the second model using 6 variables, using the 6 variables that are used in the WHO charts, namely age, sex, smoking status, systolic blood pressure, history of diabetes, and total cholesterol. We selected the best model by comparing predictions of the new models and the WHO risk charts using ROC curves. This slide shows compares the performance of high-risk prediction using the 3 models. The 75 variable model had an area under the curve of 0.74. and the 6 variable curve had an area under the curve of 0.72. However, the WHO risk charts had an area under the curve of 0.55. So area under the curve above 7.7 is considered good. So we concluded, we also looked at, so this slide shows the summary of the performances of the models. As you can see, the 75 variable model predicted 124 events of the 179 observed events. Similarly, the 6 variable model also predicted the same, but the WHO risk charts predicted only 45 events. However, we should appreciate that prediction of low-risk individuals was equally good across all 3 models. We then externally validated and calibrated the 6 variable model because 75 variable model and the 6 variable model were not significantly different, and using a 6 variable model would be the most practical. The validation cohort consisted of 357 patients between the ages of 40 and 74 years, admitted to the Colombo North Teaching Hospital. They were either the patients who got admitted with an incident cardiovascular event or got admitted with a disease other than an acute cardiovascular disease. So there were 118 incident cardiovascular disease cases and 239 non-cardiovascular cases. We calculated their cardiovascular risk predictions using parameters on admission to the hospital. The performance of the 6 variable model in the validation cohort is shown in this figure. 83, so in the validation cohort, the 6 variable model predicted 83 out of 118 cases, giving a positive predictive value of 87%. The WHO risk charts predicted 28 cases out of 118, giving a positive predictive value of 35%. Therefore, we concluded that machine learning-based models derived from a cohort of Sri Lankans improved the overall accuracy of cardiovascular risk prediction compared with the WHO risk charts. We published this in the journal, BMJ Open Journal. We won E.M. Vijayarama Award for the best presentation at the 56th Annual Academic Sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians in 2023 for this work. Now, finally, development of a cardiovascular risk prediction model specific to Sri Lankans. The aim of cardiovascular risk prediction is to detect the cardiovascular risk of patients efficiently. This needs a reliable, freely available, user-friendly risk prediction model. Therefore, we aim to develop a simple risk prediction model with a web-based interface for calculating Sri Lankans' cardiovascular risk. We use the RHS database. We develop prediction models with supervised machine learning. This time we used variables selected on the feature importance identified by the machine learning program, as well as using domain knowledge. So we developed two models. Model 1 using the most predictive 6 variables identified by the machine learning program. Age, sex, smoking status, systolic blood pressure, history of diabetes, and LDL cholesterol level were the most important 6 variables. The model 2 was using the variables used in the WHO risk charts. The difference between the two models came with the type of cholesterol used in the model. So the model 1 used LDL cholesterol and model 2 used total cholesterol level. We also risk stratified the population using the WHO updated risk charts in 2019. We compared the performances of the models by comparing the predictions in 2007 with the observed events in 2017. So the model 1 predicted 162 out of 179 cases. The model 2 predicted 169 out of 179 cases, but the WHO risk charts predicted only 10 out of 179 cases. We selected the best model using further matrices. Now, the overall correctness of the model, all three models were equally good with above 90% prediction accuracy. However, the ability to predict true positive events were poor with the WHO risk charts. And the Model 1 and Model 2 did not have a significant difference in risk prediction. Therefore, we selected the Model 2 as the best model for use in primary care, as total cholesterol level is freely available than LDL cholesterol levels, even in the periphery of Sri Lanka. We named this Sri Lanka Cardiovascular Disease Score, or SLCVD score. We developed a web-based platform to calculate SLCVD score, the SLCVD calculator, to enable practical utility of the model. Sri Lanka CVD score is the first and the only cardiovascular risk prediction model specific to Sri Lankans. The calculator uses the same variables as the WHO risk charts. It gives the 10-year risk of developing a heart CVD as a percentage. A percentage above, equal or about 20% is defined as high risk. We concluded that the SLCVD score was more effective in predicting Sri Lankans at high cardiovascular risk than the WHO risk charts. We published our findings in PLOS ONE journal, to which I got the award today. Up to now, we have received 3 awards for this work. Dr. E.M. Vijayarama Award for the best paper and a special prize in cardiology at the Anniversary International Medical Congress of SLMA 2024, and Dr. Pramod Ranatunga Research Award 2025 at the academic session of the Sri Lanka College of Cardiologists. We further refined the SLCVD score to improve its generalizability. For this, we used nationally representative data of the stepwise approach to surveillance, the STEP Survey 2021 data. We applied for patent rights for the SLCVD score and the calculator. We plan to launch this calculator through the Ministry of Health free of charge upon securing patent rights. Ladies and gentlemen, I conclude. In this oration, I presented the optimization of cardiovascular risk prediction of Sri Lankans, especially using artificial intelligence. Based on the results just presented, I have made the following conclusions and recommendations regarding cardiovascular risk prediction of Sri Lankans. Conclusion 1. Cardiovascular risk predictions of Sri Lankans using different risk models are different. Risk predictions of the WHO risk charts and the Framingham risk score do not agree adequately. Therefore, the same risk prediction model should be used in the follow-up of Sri Lankans. Framingham risk score overestimated cardiovascular risk of Sri Lankans. Conclusion 2. Of the internationally accepted cardiovascular risk prediction models, the WHO risk charts are the best for Sri Lankans. Both versions of the cholesterol-based and the BMI-based charts can be used. Risk predictions are more satisfactory in females and low-risk individuals, but less in high-risk females. Conclusion 3. Prediction models developed with artificial intelligence using data from Sri Lankan cohorts are better than the WHO risk charts in the risk prediction of Sri Lankans. The SLCVD score is the only cardiovascular risk prediction model specific to Sri Lankans. It predicts 10-year cardiovascular risk using age, sex, smoking status, systolic blood pressure, history of diabetes, and total cholesterol level. The SLCVD score calculator will be freely available to all clinicians and the public very soon. I sincerely hope that these recommendations will improve cardiovascular risk prediction of Sri Lankans, and it will ultimately help to reduce non-communicable disease burden of Sri Lanka. Acknowledgements. Much of the work I presented today was made possible using the Ragama Health study data. I'm deeply grateful to Professors Janaka De Silva, Rajitha Wickramasinghe, Anuradhini Kasturiratne, and the entire RHS team for granting me access to this invaluable data set. My heartfelt appreciation goes to the MP students who significantly contributed to various aspects of this research. Ms. Tulani Baddage for validating WHO score, Ms. Mahika Solangarachchi, Mr. Isru Sanjeeva, Tinul Bentotarachchi, Avishka Vijaysurya, Chiranjay Chandrasena, and Ms. Tolani Veerasinghe for developing machine learning models and the calculator. A special note of thanks to Mr. Prasanna Handela, Head of Graduate Studies, Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, for his expert guidance and supervision of the team in developing machine learning models. I'm grateful to Dr. Champika Wickramasinghe, Deputy Director General NCD, and the NCD Directorate of the Ministry of Health for permitting the use of STEP survey data for refining SLCVD model. I'm truly grateful to the Research Council of the University of Kelaniya for awarding me the Strengthening Research Output Grant, which enabled this work. I also extend my gratitude to our dedicated research assistants who helped this work since 2017. I thank my senior colleagues in the Department of Pharmacology and the Faculty of Medicine, Kelaniya, Professors Asitha De Silva, Anuradha Dasanayaka, Channa Ranasinghe, A. Padmeswaran, Uday Ranavaka, and Dr. Sujivani Kurakulu Surya for their ongoing support and guidance. I'm grateful to my PhD supervisor, Professor Peter Rothwell, and the Oxford Vascular Study Group at the University of Oxford. The training I received there in research methodology and statistics is the foundation for this work. Finally, I'm most grateful to my family, Sachit, Kalya, and Kaushala, and my parents, in-laws, and friends for their unwavering support throughout this journey. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a sounding round of applause one more time to Professor Chamila Methananda. Congratulations on your oration, and of course, you've done good to all of us in the industry and on the country as well, taking the subject forward with your oration. And now, ladies and gentlemen, today, this is the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians. Now, as you look forward to the next 3 days, it's now time to get a glimpse of the academic fiesta of the CCP 2025. To do so, I cordially invite Dr. Praveen Veeratunga, Honorary Joint Secretary, Ceylon College of Physicians, to sum up on the academic sessions spanning the next 3 days.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my task is to use the next few minutes to present to you a glimpse of the academic content of the 58th Annual Academic Sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians, CCP 2025. We start off proceedings tomorrow with our breakfast meetings, and the 3 breakfast meetings are designed as masterclasses focused on our trainees, which feature local world-class expertise in geriatrics, interstitial lung disease, and lipidology. The 3 orations of one which you have just listened to showcase the pinnacle of academic research in Sri Lanka. Professor Methanandan has elaborated with great expertise the derivation of a locally relevant cardiovascular risk model. Professor Ranasinghe tomorrow will go into translation of traditional knowledge into evidence-based medicine with his work on Ceylon cinnamon. On the last day, Dr. Veeratunga will then also go through her journey of developing a locally validated falls risk model for Sri Lanka. We will also present you 6 plenaries, which will address challenges and explore challenges for future physicians. It will also look into cutting-edge translational work in fibrosis, immunology, and metabolic medicine, as well as explore diagnostic models for rare diseases. We have a series of 24 symposia which encompass all areas of medicine and its finest specialties, as well as introduce to you concepts related to medical education, quality improvement in medicine, and medical technology. For the first time, we present networking meetings which will foster collaborations between local and international experts to design a way forward towards effective healthcare delivery within Sri Lanka, as well as identify research priorities for advancement of knowledge. Therefore, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite you to CCP 2025 starting from tomorrow, and it is my sincere wish and hope that it will enrich, enlighten, and inspire. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end, and it's only the end of the official proceedings tonight. And now to deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to cordially invite Dr. Lilanthi Subasinghe, Honorary Joint Secretary, Ceylon College of Physicians, with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Good evening, esteemed dignitaries at the head table, respected past presidents, the president and the members of the Council of the Ceylon College of Physicians, distinguished invitees, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great honor and privilege to stand before you today as the Joint Secretary of the Ceylon College of Physicians to extend the vote of thanks in this momentous occasion. On behalf of the President, Council, and the entire college, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to all those who have contributed to making this event a reality. First and foremost, our sincere thanks goes to our chief guest, Emeritus Professor Savitri Gunasekara, Emeritus Professor of Law and former Vice Chancellor of the University of Colombo, for gracing this occasion with her presence and for her inspiring address. We are deeply honored by the presence of our guests of honor, Professor Andrew Elder, President of the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, Professor Mumtaz Patel, President of the Royal College of Physicians, London, Professor Jennifer Martin, President and Chair of the Royal Australasian College of Physicians, Professor George Dellacos, President of the European Federation of Internal Medicine, Professor Javed Akram, President of the Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine. We are also privileged to have with us our special guest, Dr. Anil Jayasinghe, Secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, whose continued support is deeply appreciated. We extend our thanks to all distinguished invitees, representatives from the Ministry of Health, universities, and our international dignitaries for being here with us this evening. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to the President of the Ceylon College of Physicians, Vidyajyothi Professor Prasad Katulanda, for his exceptional leadership, vision, and commitment in guiding us through yet another successful academic year. We also acknowledge the continued support of the Council members for their wisdom and collaboration. To the Academic Sessions Committee, both the Scientific and Organizing Committees of CCP 2025, thank you for curating a vibrant and intellectually rich program which Praveen just described. Special appreciation goes to the abstract reviewers, judges, moderators, and all those who involved in planning and executing the academic content. We are grateful to our renowned faculty of speakers and resource persons, both local and international, for accepting our invitations and sharing your expertise. Also, thank you to all symposia chairs and panelists for your invaluable contributions, which will start from tomorrow. A warm thank you to the teams behind our pre-Congress activities, especially including organizers and facilitators of the 6 pre-Congress workshops and training sessions held over the past 3 years. We are also thankful to our collaborating institutions and professional associations for their contributions, including the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Sri Lanka, and all our specialty colleges and associations. Your partnership has elevated the quality of our academic sessions year after year. To our former office bearers, past presidents, secretaries, and council members, your efforts have laid a strong foundation on which we continue to build. We are ever grateful for your legacy. We deeply appreciate the tireless efforts of our CCP administrative staff, Ms. Dinushika, Ms. Hemamali, Ms. Kumara, Mr. Sarath, who ensured every logistic and communication detail was flawlessly managed. Your behind-the-scenes work is the backbone of this event. A very special word of thanks to our group of young doctors, demonstrators, and volunteers, Channa, Gihani, Manti, Niranjan, Anuki, Kavindya, Naduni, Kavisha, Hansika, Gayan, Supun, Diniti, and Amasha, whose commitment and energy have been truly commendable. We are also grateful to our venue and event partners, team from Cinnamon Life, City of Dreams, Ms. Nimalka Morahel, and the team at HNA Consulting and Events, Mr. Nalina Vanasinghe and the team at Impress Events for managing audiovisuals, Mr. Amal Ranavaka, our photography lead from Anira Photo, Anand the Press, our printing partner, Mr. Buddhika Bevikrama and the Creative 2 team for website and IT support, Mr. Ranga Vijayaratna of Classic Lanka Travels, our travel partner, and Lasana Flora for the stunning floral arrangements today. We extend our deepest appreciation to our industry partners. Your financial and logistical support has enabled us to maintain the high standards of our academic sessions. A special thank you to our principal partner, George Stewart's Health Private Limited, our diamond partners, Emma Chemi in Ceylon Limited, the Searly Company Limited, Sanofi Bowles, AstraZeneca, Mega Group of Companies Private Limited, Farmevo Private Limited, and Gamma Interfarm Private Limited. Also, the platinum partners including Calbi International, Sioka Health, Truic Private Limited, Silogen Lanka Private Limited, Principal Healthcare UK, Fairway Holdings Private Limited, and Ambasavana Holdings. We are also grateful to all our gold, silver, and bronze industry partners. Thank you for your continued trust and collaboration. Last, but by no means the least, a heartfelt thank you to all our delegates and attendees, both local and international. Your engagement and participation breathe life to our sessions from tomorrow. We hope you find the upcoming days intellectually stimulating and professionally rewarding. Before I conclude, I'd like to extend our heartfelt gratitudes to all those whose names may not have been mentioned, but whose efforts and support have been equally vital. Your quiet contributions, whether big or small, have played a significant role in making this event a success. Thank you for being the invisible strength behind the scenes. So, finally, thank you once again to everyone for making this event a memorable beginning to what promises to be a remarkable 58th Anniversary Annual Academic Sessions CCP 2025. I wish you all a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Leelanthi Subasinghe managed to thank everybody but herself because she has also been behind all of this organizing, coordinating details. So let's give a round of applause to Dr. Leelanthi Subasinghe as well. Thank you very much for your coordination in making this event a success. With that, the official proceedings of tonight has come to an end, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time to open the night for music, dance, and entertainment and a taste of a little bit of culture. And before we move forward, I would like to cordially invite the dignitaries at the head table to now take your seats at the audience so that you can also enjoy what's on stage. We'll take a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, kudos to the hotel team and the events team for the quick transformation as we move towards the night of music, dance, and entertainment. Now, we have Channa Upuli Dance Performing Arts Academy ready to add color and vibrance. We would like to start off with a traditional fusion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a vibrant creation born from the rich blend of Sri Lanka's diverse traditions. This dance embodies rhythm, color, and movement. It unites the grace of Kandyan and the energy of Low Country and also the elegance of Sabaragamuwa styles into a single expressive art form with powerful drumming, intricate footwork, and striking costumes. It celebrates the island's cultural spirit, carrying centuries of heritage while embracing the beauty of unity in diversity. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we open the night for music, dance, and entertainment with Channa Upuli Dance Performing Arts Academy.
Ooh.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, they sure added so much color and vibrance. Let's have a good round of applause one more time to Channa Upale Performing Arts Academy. And they will be back soon again. But now we're going to move into a violin recital by Visharada Lasitha Gunawardhana. Visharada Lasitha Gunawardhana is a celebrated Sri Lankan solo violinist with over a decade of experience in the music industry. Known for his expressive artistry and dynamic stage presence, he has captivated audiences across Sri Lanka and around the globe. Now let's see how he captivates all of us tonight. Let's give a good round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Visharada Lasitha Gunawardhana.
Thank you.
Visharda Lasithagunawardhana sure kept us all captivated throughout his performance. With another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's wish him all the very best. Now, next up, we have Clarence Vijayawardhana Medley by Channa Upali Performing Arts Academy. A heartfelt tribute to the legendary artist Clarence Vijayawardhana. This performance is a vibrant treat that brings his unforgettable songs to life through dance, rhythm, emotion, and artistry. It celebrates his timeless melodies while evoking cherished memories for all of us. With a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Channa Upali Performing Arts Academy back on stage.
කලු දෙබරුන් නැත පැණි බොන්නේ වන බඹරුයි එහි රස දන්නේ මල නොතලා එහි පැණි උරලා මල දමලා උන් යති පැනලා මලෙහි පැණි නැත පවතින්නේ පැණි හිඳිලා මල් පරවෙන්නේ කලු දෙබරෝ නැතු අග දන්නේ වන්න බඹරු නැත එහි යන්නේ රෝස මලේ නටුවේ කටු වන්න බඹරෝ ඔහොම හිටු නටුව නොවේ මම මල සිඹිමි මම ළමයෝ පැණි උරමි මංගෝ කලු නැන්දේ මොකද මේ පැත්තේ හැන්දෑයාමේ බලා ගෙදරින් පැනගත්තේ මංගෝ කලු නැන්දේ මොකද මේ පැත්තේ
කලු නැන්දා
හැන්දෑයාමේ බලා ගෙදරින්
හොඳ දෙකක් කියන්න ඕනේ
පැනගත්තේ අපටි දලු පැහේ මංගොට දැන් හරිම වැඩ වගේ පොලට ගෙනල්ලා ලාබෙට විකුණාලා ගෙදර එන්නේ හිනා වැහි වැහි මංගෝ කලු නැන්දේ මොකද මේ පැත්තේ හැන්දෑයාමේ බලා ගෙදරින් පැනගත්තේ
පැටින්ලමා කියන රහසකිමා තිසර පැටින්ලමා කියන රහසකිමා සැලෙන මෙවුල් දමා විසිතුරු නැතනිමා සැලෙන මෙවුල් දමා විසිතුරු නැතනිමා සුරංගන වෙස් බලා සලා උකුළු තලා රඟනලියන් බලා නෙත් නිගුමක් වෙලා සුරංගන වෙස් බලා Sala ukulu tala ranganaliyan bala nindi kumakni
Wow, what a performance, ladies and gentlemen. Being Sri Lankans, we're all fans of Clarence Vijayawardena. Let's give another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for bringing back the memories. And now we're in for the final act. Hoya, a bit of fold. Sri Lanka is known for its beautiful beaches and fisheries. This upbeat popular song, together with a dance choreographed using folk movements, brings to a glimpse of the lives of fishermen in Sri Lanka, ladies and gentlemen. With another round of applause, Channa and Upuli Performing Arts is back on stage.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you're thinking what I'm thinking. Can we have more of that? But unfortunately, things have come to an end. Let's give a good round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our performers tonight. Thank you very much for the color and vibrance you brought in for tonight's proceedings. With that, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the proceedings of the inauguration ceremony of the 58th anniversary annual academic sessions of the Ceylon College of Physicians. With that, I request all of you to remain in your seats until the ceremonial procession leaves the hall. And as they make their way out, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee, I invite all of you to join for the reception and fellowship at the podium and exhibition center downstairs soon after. As you make your way out, remember, come and join all of us at the podium and exhibition center downstairs for fellowship and reception. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a part of tonight's proceedings, and we wish you all the very best for the next 3 days. Have a good night.